clever 16th century philosopher called Giordano Bruno. He also believed that stars were distant suns with their own planets. In the 1500s, remember. A normal idea today, pretty wackadoodle back then. Anyway, the Catholic Church of the day were big supporters of Bruno's heliocentric ideas and celebrated his genius by lighting a big lovely bonfire, which they popped him on top of. Centuries later, in the early 1900s, and scientist Alfred Wegener noticed that the continents fit together a bit like an awkward jigsaw puzzle, particularly East and South America and Western Africa. He came up with a theory of continental drift, the idea that the continent started as one big megamass called Pangaea and slowly drifted apart over millions of years. Hey, that's a great idea, no geologist of the day said, and continued to fling intellectual shit at him non-stop for the remainder of his life. It would take about 70 years, or one Bill Murray, for folks to realize he was actually spot on. Kind of difficult to apologize though, what with him being dead and everything. September 15th, 1999, and the Mars Climate Orbiter is just about to enter Mars orbit. It does, though with a little too much enthusiasm, barbecuing itself. The reason? Because the spacecraft was quite sensibly using metric measurements, while the software back on Earth was using imperial. I can sympathize somewhat. Having left England years ago, I'm still only able to conceive of the world in terms of stone, inches, and repressed childhood sadness. Anyhow, that's what made them dead. Oh my god, he's a wizard! Why do these ghosts always have really specific messages, but simultaneously can only remember the first letter of their own fucking names? Anyway, it suddenly hit me, either this guy is actually talking to the dead, which will completely revolutionize modern science, or this motherfucker is taking advantage of fragile people who are grieving for their loved ones, and he's doing it for monetary gain. Which is a very special flavor of evil, I hope you will agree. It destroyed my faith in psychics, and gave me, shall we say, an overly passionate dislike of people making big metaphysical claims they couldn't back up. And every time I came across people at parties or over dinner who hinted at even the most gentle metaphysical sentiments, everything happens for a reason, or whatever, I became, there is no other way to put it, an obnoxious dick. Because I associated all of them with this one guy I'd seen on TV. I was insufferable. Years later, however, I was eating dinner with some friends, and a friend of a friend had joined. The new guy noticed I wasn't eating meat and asked, and I said, I'm not really into it, and attempted to leave the thing there. But he followed it with, well, if you care about animals so much, why are you still eating dairy products? That's cheese on your plate, isn't it? I said. Anyway, well, he continued for some time, I mean, you're not really making a difference. You're probably just trying to demonstrate how morally superior you think you are to everyone else. Yes, that's a fair point, I said. In a universe where I'm a Buddhist monk. In this universe, I said, go fuck yourself, and who the fuck are you anyway? And of course, an argument began, ruining dinner completely. Months later though, somehow we calmed down, because a materialist like me must be a con artist. And that was kind of humbling, because I was no more going to yell at him for enjoying a bratwurst than those poor people I'd been mean to over dinner were going to con me out of money to talk to my dead childhood hamster. And it seemed suddenly that arguments about ideas usually rely on two fundamental constants. One, everyone thinks they're being reasonable, however insane their position is, and two, no one's going to change their mind by getting called a dick. Looking back on that unpleasant dinner, I should have just calmed down and said, you seem a bit irritated, mate. What's up? And we probably could have sorted things there and then. But my pride was hurt, and that was all I could think about. Some days you're the pigeon, some days you're the statue. And almost all of us are ignorant about almost everything. The world is too big not to be. But miraculously finding the mental strength to say, alright mate, you seem a bit annoyed, let's talk about it. It's always going to get a better result than go fuck yourself. It relies on constantly remembering that the primary characteristic of a silly person is that they think they're clever, and usually enjoy insisting that they're correct about everything, which makes admitting to ignorance a rather rare and virtue. In other words, what would Socrates do?
My parents are.
That's a very different mantra to what would Diogenes do? Because the answer.
Yes. 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 I beat it. I beat it. I beat Tung'S. I beat Tung'S. I beat Tung'S. Oh my god, bro. I beat it. I beat it. I beat it. Bro. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. GG. GG. Let's go. This is just wow. Wow. Okay. Yay, I verified my own joke level. That's great. That's great. Wow. 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 6 hours and 17 minutes on this copy though. And like the old one. Okay, so this is approximately like 5 hours. Like 5 hours of actual playtime, and then like the old one is like 4 hours, so it's like 9 hours. I guess, bro. I guess, bro. 9 hours. Is that worth? Is this worth it, man? I don't know, but I verified it. Let's go. So, yay. That's all. Bye bye.